Brian Flores tonight, because that second half performance, he was dialing up blitz here and there. The defense was moving in every which way, pressure here, sacks here. It was unreal. He truly is the heart and soul of that Minnesota defense. He is such a valuable asset for Minnesota, and that's really what kept them in the game and what got JJ going, was the belief that the defense can. They're able to do it. They can stop any offense in the league, and they added all offseason long, added to that defensive line. They're putting more pressure on the quarterback. I thought it was great.
Well, you're talking about the penalties. I mean, half of them just felt like false starts. How many times did Caleb Williams get into his cadence and he had like a guard just like flinch? There's still a lot to work with. You can tell with Ben Johnson's scheme and the cadence and all the motions for just the offensive line. I mean, that game was at home. I was on offensive line in the middle school, dude, and this is like peewee football. This is like no crowd. Everyone who plays football knows, dude, false starts at home are just unacceptable. And they had a litany of them. So I expect them to clean it up. But like you said, Brian Flores is arguably the best defensive coordinator in the league. And we saw that on display last season when Minnesota had an elite defense. And I thought he couldn't get any pressure in the first half. Caleb and Ben Johnson, that first couple drives, were just toying with them, taking them up down the field. But you saw in the second half, especially when Minnesota got all the momentum, Flores smelled blood. He started sending a bunch of defenders in Caleb's face, and it sped Caleb up. He wasn't making as accurate of throws as he was in the first half, and it kind of had him all over the place. But in the end, as great as Flores was in the second half, as great as McCarthy was in that fourth quarter, just a gamer with national championship DNA, as great as O'Connell was calling the game and sticking with his quarterback, the Bears should have killed the Vikings. The Bears should have killed them while they were on the ground. And when you knock a team down, it's just like boxing or UFC. I always say, like, when your opponent's on his ass, you got to swing. And you got to make sure he stays down. You know, in UFC, when their guy goes on the ground, they make sure they land a couple 5 punches as soon as just to make sure he doesn't get up. And the Bears didn't do that. Like I said, they went punt, turnover on downs, or missed field goal for, like, the majority of the game. I mean, there was a point where, like, as much as the Vikings were struggling, if they didn't have the pick six, the Bears on their side, they would have been down a lot earlier in that game. They had 3 points after that opening touchdown for a long time. And I think the Bears had all the momentum. And you said Soldier Field was loud. It definitely got quiet in that fourth quarter. It just flipped on them. Caleb's got to be a lot better. That was Caleb's opportunity to just go kill the Vikings and just end it in that third quarter. But they didn't pull hard enough on the rope. And when the Vikings got on their feet, they just yanked it up out of them.